Peter Chang. We're at step 7, and step 7 is basically assembling the team associated ball differential. You're going to need a diff gear like the one shown here, and the part number is 7664. We're going to need some differential rings, and this part number is 7677. And we're also going to need some X-Factory ball bearings, and this part number is 6204. It's the X-Factory ball bearings, 6204. And we're also going to need some differential balls, and we were out of the carbide balls, so I ended up using the more expensive ceramic balls. Also in the SCX-60CF, the outer rings are also included. You're going to need to pick up some black grease, and also what I really like is some Stealth differential lube, and from Team Associated, and this stuff works great. So what you're going to do is we're going to just go ahead and we're going to open up the in this case we're going to open up the Diff rebuild kit, and just going to go ahead and open this up. And if you're actually using a SC10 car, you may want to just open up your differential kit to, or not differential kit, but your differential ball bearing to just clean everything out, make sure everything's functioning great. You may need to replace the diff rings if it's all scuffed up and not functioning well, or you may need to replace, it's a good opportunity to replace the ball bearings if you're using a donor car. So I'm going to show you how to assemble this. Pretty much we're going to take some Stealth differential lube, and I'm just going to grease this outer portions here. I'm just going to take my time, do this a little bit slowly. I'm actually getting too much differential grease on here, but it's okay if you do. You could always wipe it off, but just letting you know, what I found later on was when I was assembling this, some of the differential grease does leak out. So just so you know, you may want to use less grease than I am in this part of it. And this Stealth lube was pretty much just sitting at the local hobby shop for perhaps quite a while, because you see it's kind of dried up a little bit. It's a little bit too gelled up a little bit. A good tube of Stealth differential lube doesn't gel quite so much like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the outer differential rings right on top there and just push down. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and trying not to get Stealth differential lube everywhere. So once again, just take your time, be patient with it. The outer drive rings would tip over, fall down, what have you. Just do your best to deal with that. Next step is I'm going to take the X-Factory 6204 differential ball bearings, and I'm going to go ahead and this is actually what X-Factory uses for the ball bearings, and there's actually a Team Associated version of this as well, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the X-Factory one. That's what they state to use in the instructions, so I'm going to follow the instructions to the T. And I'm just going ahead and just put one ball bearing in the out drive, and then one ball bearing goes on the inside. Once again, I'm just trying to not to get the Stealth differential lube everywhere. So go ahead and just put that on there. Goes in nice and tight like that. Next step, we're going to go ahead and load the ceramic differential balls onto the differential gear, the main differential gear here. So we'll just go ahead and open this up. Once I open it up, I'm just going to go ahead and place it over the ball bearings on there, just like that, and it's a great fit. And here comes the part where I'm going to go ahead and open up the bag of ball bearings, and you should be a little careful when you're opening up this bag. For a couple of factors. One, you don't have any extra balls in here, and two, they're really small and they kind of glide all over the place. So if you lose one, you're going to really have a tough time finding it. And also, because they're ceramic, they're not magnetic. Even if you have a hex deck like me, like I'm working on it right now, you're still going to need some container or holder so that the ceramic differential balls would stay in one spot. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this up here, and let's go ahead and try not to spill it everywhere. And you see how quickly those little ball bearings move, and it's going to work wonders inside that differential gear, I tell you. If it's still slippery outside of the differential gear, it's going to function just awesome inside the differential gear. So here's a little trick. I'm just going to go ahead and fill in all these little holes and gaps inside the differential gear here with silicone Diff lube. And once again, I'm just applying it like a little too much, so I'm going to have a little bit trouble with the differential gear grease leaking out a little bit. But just so you know, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Here's a little trick. I'm just going to go ahead and take this differential lube, just tap it there, and you see the ball bearing stick right on it. Now if you remember watching an earlier differential build video of mine where I was building out the MIP ball diff, I ended up using like tweezers to catch the balls and stuff, and you know, about like the third or fourth ball differential rebuild, discovered this little trick, and just finding that this is way easier than using a pair of tweezers. And notice how fast that this part of the build is actually going, and really it's just relatively trouble-free. The only problem with this approach is that I find that I'm actually putting on way too much differential grease than I care to at times. But it's very fast, and I don't have to go and search for another tool. It's kind of also a lazy way of implementing this, but it works great. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply some more differential lube on the back side of this thing, on that ring, and I'm just going to go ahead and just drop it in. And looks like I lost a ball bearing. I just need to be a little patient with that. I'd rather lose the ball bearing, have that ball bearing kind of actually than have all the little ceramic differential balls falling out. So I'm just doing like a little quick turn, make sure everything is spinning, everything is functioning okay. Now comes the more difficult part where I'm have to build out the thrust bearing. And the thrust bearing is composed of basically just one really long screw, a washer, so a washer, and then 5 thrust bearing differential balls balanced on top of that washer. So here's a trick to setting this correctly. Go ahead and grab some black grease, and once you've located some of the black grease, what you're going to do is you're going to apply the black grease right over that washer. And what's this going to do is it's going to create like some friction, just basically a base to hold the 5 differential balls in place. And not really like the most intuitive thing to build, I have to admit. Yet it's a very effective. Once your truck has a ball differential, it's really going to sing when it drives and maneuvers around corners. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply some more black grease here, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my differential balls, and I'm going to just try not to have this thing scatter everywhere. And looking at it, I didn't apply enough black grease there. I'm just going to go ahead and just apply a little bit more. And if you're worried you're going to apply like too much black grease on here, you're really not going to apply like that much black grease that it becomes too unwieldy. Just take your time, be patient, and apologize for this being out of frame, but it's just such a small part that it's easy to spill everywhere. But I did that same trick. I tapped the ball bearing and tapped the ball bearing onto the thrust bearing. So here we go. Let's go ahead and show this. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab the black grease tube, and I'm just going to tap the ball bearing, and I'm going to put that on the magnetic deck. It might just stay in place. So just tap that and then just drop it on there. And 1 down, 4 to go, 3 to go. And 3 is still there. So here we go. And I got the camera in focus so we could see this a little bit better. But you see how well this technique works is that you just drop it on there and then you push it in there. And it's a little bit tedious. You just need some dexterity. Once again, I'm just going to grab the other washer here, and I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of black grease to this washer, and then just push it right down. Not a lot of black grease on this one. Also, you could also not put some black grease on there, I suppose, but I'm worried about the differential balls, the thrust bearing balls coming out. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply some black grease on here. Make sure that's all good and great and everything. I'm not going to put gobs and gobs of black grease on here because I do have to pass this through the thrust bearing screw, and I don't want to get the whole screw all greasy. I'm using an alcohol swab to clean up the black grease from my hands because and fingers, because otherwise I'd be spilling out black grease everywhere. So I'm just taking my time. I'm just making sure that the thrust spring or the thrust bolt goes through, and pretty much I just need to, on the other side, I have to put the spring and the lock nut on the other side of this. So lock nut would just place right over here like so. So just to show you how that's going to look once that is lined up. So I'm going to pull out the lock nut cap for right now, and I'm going to grab the spring, and I'm just going to compress the spring just a tad, not a whole lot, but when you compress the spring, it makes it easier for you to thread the thrust bolt to the locking pin there. So let's go ahead and put in the spring into that other drive, and then I'm putting in the locking nut in there, and I need something to kind of push down against the spring as I start to tighten this. Now, as you screw it in, it may not. Don't get discouraged if it doesn't catch right away. It's a little bit tedious, but and you may have to apply a lot of force than you're expecting. Here you can see my fingers start to turn a little bit red as I'm using a lot of force to push that in, and I'm also applying force as I'm screwing down on this ball differential as well. So once that catches, my life is going to get much easier. So there we go, and it looks like it caught. Awesome. So now I'm just going to go ahead and test to see if this ball differential is going to be working good. and it looks like it does. I'm just going to go ahead and just lock down the left side and the right side. So once I do that, if the left side and the right side both lock, then I know that the ball differential is working. And also, if I spin the left side one way, the other side should spin counterclockwise to the other side. So it's looking pretty decent. I'm just having a little trouble with the tools to make sure that I can actually do my test here. And I'm grabbing two Weehawk hex Allen wrenches here, and it looks like one of them is too big. There we go. I was just going to go ahead and give this a little turn, and it looks like it's feeling pretty good. If it's too tight, you could actually loosen it. What you don't want to do is you don't want to like screw down the ball differential too tight just yet, because you could still make an adjustment, and then you could also break in the differential balls as well. Just so you know, I generally don't tighten this thing too tight until I get to at least do like a little quick trial break-in of the differential balls. So there you have it. It's starting to look pretty decent, and once again I'm getting some of that stealth differential grease leaking out. You just saw me wipe it down with a paper towel. Also, you could also use a alcohol swab here as well too, if you're getting too much grease like I am all over the place. Well, that's it. We're just cleaning off our ball differential, and our SCX-60CF differential is all set to go. Get ready for step 8, where we finish building out the transmission.